service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC Worldwide and Jib Jab greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Your full AccuWeather forecast is right up on top on your CNC local news page. And no, you are not crazy. That is Rochester's own patented winter mix, which is sort of like snow, sort of like sleet, sort of like freezing rain, but not really any of the above. Anyway, lots of it coming down around the area on Monday morning. The 7-day forecast, well, it shows both a mix of sunny and clear, and then Wednesday we get into the chance of, would you believe, another coastal storm moving up. That's right, and that could bring us rain, snow, and who knows what for Wednesday night and Thursday. The winds aren't expected to be anywhere near as strong as they were from Hurricane Sandy. And the job is done, at least as far as the Rochester area is concerned, although it may not feel like it to customers who had to wait until Sunday evening. Rochester Gas and Electric says all the electric power outages caused by Superstorm Sandy were repaired by Sunday night. It took 6 days after the storm passed to get the last few outages on the fringes of the system reconnected. More than 20,000 were in the dark the night following the storm less than a week ago. The focus is now all on restoring power downstate in the Hudson Valley, the New York City area, and Long Island, where more than 592,000 customers, according to the governor's office, are still waiting in the dark or running on generators. Meanwhile, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced over the weekend that New York State has received nearly $28 million in federal grant money to be used in hiring the unemployed and putting them to work cleaning up storm debris in New York City and the suburbs. Any jobless person not claiming unemployment benefits is eligible to apply. New York State job centers have the information. The governor also said Walmart and PepsiCo have donated the first major contributions of private aid to the downstaters hit by Sandy, tractor-trailer loads of food and cleaning supplies, which will be very important as people start cleaning up their flooded homes, arrived. More than 850 soldiers and 250 vehicles from the Ohio, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Massachusetts National Guards began arriving in the metro New York area on Sunday. MPs will supplement local police and other emergency responders who've been putting in as much time checking the welfare of neighborhood residents as on law enforcement. The governor and state officials also issued numerous orders over the weekend, suspending regulations and red tape in the interests of speeding storm recovery. Among those you might not think of, the governor suspended the bottle deposit law, so firms like Anheuser-Busch and Walmart could donate thousands of cases of bottled water to the disaster areas. That will now be policy the next time anything like this happens. The state also tapped just short of $23 million out of a DEC escrow account for cleaning up toxic spills and diverted it to New York City to help pay for fixing its flooded-out sewage treatment plants. The New York subway system got back to 80% capacity over the weekend as more power came back on, and the Erie Canal is back up and running ahead of schedule. The waterway reopened to full service east of Syracuse for the first time since before the storm hit. Getting the canal open again was a priority because of the many people whose boats were trapped in the canal when crews had to lower the water levels to prevent storm damage. Now they'll have a chance to get their boats out of the canal and put up for winter before it closes to navigation on November 15th. Speaking of getting a boat out of the way for the winter, the Irondequoit Bay Outlet Bridge is being closed to car traffic on Monday so that a barge, which was unable to leave Irondequoit Bay because of Hurricane Sandy, can get out of there and be put up in its winter home. The barge was supposed to leave November 1st, but it just couldn't make it out before the storm hit. So that the vessel can get through, the bridge is being closed to traffic and swung open from 9 o'clock Monday until about 2 p.m. on Monday. Other boaters who were not able to get their boats out of Irondequoit Bay and into winter storage will also have the opportunity to get their vessels put through before the bridge goes back into position for the rest of the winter for car traffic. In other news, gasoline prices are slowly rolling back across the Rochester area. The average price across the Rochester metro dropped by about 2 cents over the past week, $3.95 per gallon for regular, down to $3.93. The statewide average is $3.94. A month ago, the average was over $4 a gallon, per the American Automobile Association's fuel gauge report. AAA says it expects gasoline prices will keep dropping past Election Day and will move even lower as the end of the year approaches. That's assuming a smooth restart to production and distribution following Hurricane Sandy. Refineries in harm's way from the storm shut down production before the storm hit, but the AAA says that is balanced out by the thousands of airline flights canceled and the tens of millions of motorists who had to stay home during the storm and the first phase of recovery. They estimate that cut the national demand for gasoline last week by at least 1 million barrels per day. It's usually near 8.5 million a day this time of year. The election is on Tuesday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and a Siena College poll can't tell who will win the 27th District congressional election between Democrat Kathy Hochul and Republican Chris Collins. The race is too close to call. The Siena poll of likely voters found Collins, the Republican candidate, with 48% support. Hochul, the Democrat who got into Congress by winning a special election last year, has 47%. Collins had a very narrow lead in August, and the candidates were tied in the second poll taken last month. The candidates are tied still, even though the majority of voters in the Western New York district are for Mitt Romney. He leads President Obama there by 55 to 42%. The 27th, as redrawn after the 2010 census, covers most of western New York to the west and just south of Rochester. It includes the towns of Wheatland and Mendon in Monroe County. Pollster Steve Greenberg said in a Siena College news release that his words to describe this campaign are wow and amazing. Greenberg says the closeness of the race and the consistency of the voters over the last 11 weeks in the face of millions of dollars being spent to influence their opinion is unusual in his experience. A late October fight on Main Street in downtown Rochester has the city school district changing its policy on students riding public transportation. The district has posted on its website and sent a letter to parents saying that starting November 13th, students issued orange bus passes will no longer be allowed to ride free on buses going downtown. About 80% of the district's high school students, 7,500 of them, ride regional transit service buses to and from school. Fights between groups of young people waiting to transfer buses or just hanging out downtown have broken out several times in recent years. The latest one was October 26th, and it was broken up by police with pepper spray. The letter to parents from District Operations Director Jerome Underwood, dated November 1st, reads, as a result of the numerous incidents involving our students in the downtown area, beginning Tuesday, November 13th, students with orange bus passes will not be permitted to utilize regular line service buses to get to school. They will be required to use the express transfer service buses designed to bypass downtown. Students will continue to use their current bus passes. This change affects only the bus students are allowed to ride. The RCSD says it is working with students, parents, school staff, and the RTS to be sure everyone is aware of the change. To the left of this player window are links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, in that gray bar, links for you to use. You can post direct to greasenylive.com or any of our websites, news, information, things that you think should be checked out. And we also want to see your business openings, your wedding announcements, your birth and graduation announcements. We're a community news resource, and all that news belongs up here. Next news as it happens on CNC Worldwide, updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.